Hey, welcome into the Business on Purpose podcast. Let's go get liberated from the chaos of working in your business. Scott Beebe, the head coach, the founder. We've recently done something as a family, and I tell people all the time when I'm talking about things in relation to our family that we don't have it figured out at all. We're still very much in the lab, working on things, trying new things, and so anything that I give you as it relates to our family is really more based either on God's word as principle, and so I'm relaying it, I've not created it, or just quite frankly to tell you these are kind of the plays we're calling right now. Will we win? I hope. That's why we're calling the plays we're calling, but that's essentially what it is they're the plays we're calling right now. Are they the perfect plays? Nope. Are they the right plays? Well, we hope so. Are there plays that we have called that have not worked? Yes. Question I get sometimes is, how do I get my kids involved in the business? There's a couple really, really important things to think about here. Number one, it is not mandated that if you start a business that your children must take over the business. We've actually seen a lot of fractured relationships because of that assumption, is that, well, I guess my kids are just going to take over the business. They may not want to. In fact, you may be doing more harm than good because you're imposing a skill set on them that God may very well have not put inside of them. And so they're operating outside of what we would call their narrow brilliance. And so then you say, well, but there's principles I want them to learn, and they can learn those in my business, even though they may never take the business over. They might not even have interest in the type of industry, product, etc. So what do we do about that? This is where I want you to look deep, and this is a play we're calling right now for our family. So I'm just kind of giving you insight into this. Last night, my two boys, we've got three kids, but me and our two boys, we went upstairs into my little work area, my little studio, and we put some things together, and we recorded a podcast just like this. But the equipment was a little bit more, there was more involved in this. This one's pretty simplistic for a reason. It's because I want these to be short and sweet, and I want them to get out quickly so that you can get this insight as often as you possibly can to just be encouraged to be liberated from your chaos. What we're working on with the boys is a little bit different. And so what we found the intersection of something that we do as a business that connects with a passion of theirs, not necessarily technically, but a passion of theirs principally. So, for instance, one of my boys is more of an outgoing kind of talker, a gregarious influencer. And so we picked the platform of podcast because inherent within is an opportunity for him to play that out. Another one of our boys is really into engineering and building. Well, there's a technical audio aspect of podcasting, so we're able to, again, go back to that platform and go, hey, there's a technical aspect of this. What if you were to embrace that? And so we have started to kind of train on that. Now, I will tell you from a dad's perspective, it is really, really hard to train and to kind of back away and not do. It's so easy. I found it so easy to just go, well, just let me do that. Let me click this button and push this thing and talk this way and write this script and all that. But I really had to try to force myself. And there were times I did and times I didn't. Force myself to step back and guide them. And so whether you own a landscape business or a product distribution business or a tanning salon or whatever it is, what is the intersection to where the product you offer, what it is that you do, connects with the principles of who your children are? So principally, if you were to look at it, you might have one child or 4 children, but if you're looking at your kids and figure out, all right, what is it that they're into broadly, principally, not technically necessarily, my child is into dance or baseball or whatever, because a lot of times that's not going to intersect with business. There's real value in our kids understanding and peering inside and behind the curtains of small business, and you can provide that for them. You're in a unique spot that not a lot of people are. And so, of course, it's natural for your children to want to get value out of the pain, the struggle, the realization of small business. But here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to burden them with our small business. We don't want to assume because we are into our small business or we have a passion about our small business that they need to do the same. That's a tough one to get over. I'm actively trying to get over that right now. because all three of my kids may go in a completely different direction. And I need to be perfectly okay with that, understanding that God has put something unique and special inside of them. And so Ashley and I need to nurture that in them. With that said, there's an inherent intersection between our business, what we do, with the principles of who they are. And so for us, so far, it's been podcasting. Our daughter's actually going to do some of the artwork for logos and different things like that will be unique and a little bit different from what's usual. And so we're going to go in on that. We're calling that play right now. Is it going to be a longevity podcast with 8,000 episodes? And I don't know. It may last another 2 weeks. I don't know. But that's the play we're calling right now, and it's a way that we're going to try and allow our children to be exposed to small business without burdening them with weighing everything else down that they might not necessarily be into. So anyway, I thought that might be helpful just to kind of have some insight into how do I get my child into my small business. It may just not be a fit. I don't know, but to look for that intersection. What is that intersection? Where can they play that would bring value to the business to some extent, even just novel value to the business, and go, wow, your daughter did that? Your son did that? Is it better than a graphic artist can do? No, but that's okay because they did it. I'll see you next time. MyBusinessOnPurpose.com right here on the Business on Purpose podcast.